Hey, and welcome back to my channel. As everyone knows, life is full of stress. Chances are, just the word stress brings it with it a negative connotation. You may have even experienced the flare-up stress just from hearing it mentioned just now. This kind of bad stress, what we commonly think of when it's referred to, is known by psychologists as acute stress. This is the body's response to stimuli that is neither happy nor exciting, and will usually resolve once the stressor has been managed. However, many researchers also propose that stress can be good as well, in cases of what they call eustress. While there is no fear or direct threat, your body will still respond as if there was something new and exciting happening. This kind of stress is beneficial because it provides motivation and the drive to do better. While a balance of both of these types of stress is totally normal, a constant barrage of stress can lead to intense pressure and severe side effects. This is called chronic stress, and it is a result of repetitive exposure to acute stress, so much so that it begins to feel unending. It is especially prevalent in job and relationship-related stressors. When exposed to too much chronic stress, we begin to feel the effects of burnout. Burnout is the end of the chronic stress road, so to speak. This is to say, stress and burnout, while directly related, are two different things. Chronic stress leads to burnout, and the results of burnout are far more severe, far-reaching, and permanent than those of stress. Anyone is prone to burnout, especially if they find themselves in a professional or personal situation that is less than satisfactory. According to Harvard Business Review, researchers have come up with percentages ranging from as low as 7% to as high as 85% of burnout among high-stress jobs such as medical and financial professionals. Since burnout is not a medically accepted clinical term though, there isn't a whole lot of hard data to go by. However, one study conducted by ComPsych, the world's largest provider of employee assistance programs, found that out of 5,100 North American workers, 62% felt symptoms related to burnout. Burnout is common and often hard to spot until it's too late. That's why in this video, we'll be defining and exploring the state of burnout in detail, as well as some ways to manage and reduce the effects so you don't develop any further, potentially more dangerous psychological conditions. But before we get started, as always, please don't forget to like, subscribe, click that bell. Really means a lot and helps us with the algorithm. What is burnout? Burnout is a crippling mental state caused by constant exposure to stress and high-pressure situations or responsibilities. While some stress in life is natural and resolves itself on its own, under extreme pressure, people are prone to burnout. It is defined in three broad categories: physical, which is exhaustion and fatigue; emotional, cynicism and feelings of inadequacy; and behavioral, motivation and procrastination. The two biggest negative results of burnout are exhaustion and disillusionment. On top of the physical and mental toil brought on by burnout, it can also lead to more serious conditions down the line, such as a compromised immune system, hypertension, or high blood pressure, clinical depression, and even substance abuse. Symptoms. There are a wide variety of symptoms and effects caused by burnout, and not everyone experiences burnout in the same way. While each aspect of burnout, physical, emotional, and behavioral, feeds into and exacerbates each other, the effects of burnout will manifest in different levels depending on the specific individual and situations. Specialists sometimes create and refer to burnout profiles, which measure the varying levels of effects caused by burnout in different patients. Here is a breakdown of the three main elements of burnout and their effects. Physical. Those suffering from burnout will often experience extreme physical fatigue. Fatigue is defined by extreme physical exhaustion, a strong desire to sleep, and energy levels so low it begins to affect one's regular activities. Side effects of extreme exhaustion include frequent head and back aches, low motivation, difficulty concentrating, and negative changes to one's appetite and sleep schedule. This results in an ineffective and subpar work, which can lead to feelings of inadequacy and helplessness. Emotional. These feelings only exacerbate the extreme emotional effects burnout can have on someone. The emotional effects of burnout are defined by cynicism, an overly negative attitude, and skepticism towards others' intentions. Also referred to as depersonalization, it results in a lack of engagement. Those suffering from burnout will feel emotionally detached from their personal and professional relationships. Behavioral. Burnout's physical and psychological effects compound and begin to adversely affect one's behavior. Where they might have been friendly, punctual, and understanding before, someone suffering from burnout will be short-tempered, impatient, and unreliable. Burnout's effects on one's performance directly affects their self-image and feelings of self-worth. They begin to feel inadequate or incompetent, and their productivity suffers as a result, feeding into a vicious, self-fulfilling cycle. One's motivation will plummet, and they will begin to procrastinate and distance themselves from their work. They may become increasingly emotionally and physically isolated, and in some cases may resort to substance abuse. Causes. We've established that the main cause of burnout is the result of exposure to extreme stress in a personal or professional environment or relationship. This is frequently one's job or career, but burnout can affect anyone who feels overworked and underappreciated. Burnout can be the result of too many overwhelming responsibilities, lack of recognition and appreciation, or even the lack of close personal or professional relationships. Stress versus burnout. While stress and burnout are intrinsically related, they are not the same thing. In fact, they are quite the opposite in many ways. Put simply, stress is the result of feeling overwhelmed and having too much to do, while burnout feels like you have nothing left to give at all. Stress is defined by overengagement, urgency, hyperactivity, and the loss of energy. Its primary damage is physical and results in fatigue and exhaustion. Conversely though, burnout is defined by disengagement, feeling of helplessness and hopelessness, a complete loss of motivation, detachment, and depression. Its primary damage is emotional and results in low work output, procrastination, and severe behavioral changes. Stress is typically short-term and resolved when the situation's worked out. On the other hand, burnout is chronic and requires management in order to reduce the effects. Managing and coping with burnout. When the source of burnout comes from the structure or procedures of your work environment, it's possible higher level changes need to be made at your company or organization to reduce the amount of pressure you face. However, there are some things you can do on your own time to reduce the chances of burnout or negate the effects if you're already suffering from it. The 3 R's. The website Help Guide presents the 3 R's, or things to keep in mind when dealing with burnout: recognize, reverse, and resilience. Recognize. The first step is to recognize when you are experiencing stress and are on the path to a potential burnout. Once you do, you'll want to take immediate action to reverse the effects as quickly as possible so as to not negatively affect your life. Keep in mind these warning signs: negative attitude, dreading engagement in anything, wanting to leave, low energy, sleep issues, frequent absences, empty feelings, physical symptoms like headache or backaches, illness, easily irritated, emotional distance, feeling unrecognized, not taking responsibility, or even considering quitting or moving on. Reverse. This is the most important step of the process and one you have a wide variety of options for how you approach it. Your main goals during this stage are to seek support and manage stress. Refer to your friends and family for help and continue to try to make valuable personal connections. Build up a support structure of trusted individuals you can go on in times of need. You don't need someone who can help you directly. There may not be someone available to do that for you. You just need someone to listen and understand your issues. Remember to set boundaries. Learn how to say no and only make commitments you want to make. Next, try to shift your perspective. This means taking a step back and considering the bigger picture. Analyze your situation and find out what you have the power to change and what is out of your control. Focus on the things you have direct control over and adjust them or cut them out completely if necessary. This means making changes in your environment or workload that will improve your attitude. You may face some pushback in this stage. Just remember to make it clear to your friends, family, and coworkers that the adjustments you're making are for your well-being. Resilience. It's one thing to make these changes, it's another thing to maintain them. The key to this is to take care of yourself and prioritize your physical and emotional health above all. If you start to feel the pressure ease, you may be tempted to fall back into your old habits. Don't. Find value in your life and work and manage any dissatisfaction by taking the time to do things for yourself that you enjoy. Take a break from social media to pursue a hobby or just relax with yoga or meditation. Most importantly, get some exercise. Working out releases endorphins that makes you feel incredible, full of energy and ready to go for the day. Just 30 minutes of physical activity a day can result in up to 2 extra hours of productivity. My personal favorite technique involves making time for myself early in the morning. I find that by sticking to a routine before the chaos of the day starts, it allows me to decompress and get in a positive and focused mindset to take on the day. This gives me time to work out, do yoga, or even meditate, or a combination of all three. This me time really helps me balance the stress of my busy recruiting schedule. Unfortunately, nobody is safe from burnout. Even the most dedicated workaholics are prone to this dangerous emotional state. Indeed, they can be the most severely affected by it. The most important thing to remember when dealing with increased stress and burnout is to be conscious of yourself. Recognize when the pressure is getting too strong. Take steps to manage your stress to avoid burnout. If it's too late, you're already suffering from burnout, take a step back. Evaluate your position. What changes can you make to immediately resolve the issue, and how can you maintain that to prevent the issue from coming up again? Burnout isn't easy to manage, but it's doable. With some dedication and commitment, you can find a healthy balance between being a hard worker while also leaving time to manage your mental health. If you have your own tips, techniques, or stories on how to overcome burnout, be sure to share them with me in the comments section below. If you enjoyed this video, as always, please consider liking, subscribing, clicking that bell. Really means a lot and helps us with that algorithm. I also try my best to post daily on social media like Instagram and TikTok, so don't forget to follow. Thanks again, and we'll see you on the next one.